the perfect way to eat a cupcake, a new taco invention, and almost burning down a Dunkin' Donuts. This week, we're in Seattle.
Traveling the world to bring you delicious dishes, tasty beverages, and interesting experiences. This is the Destination Eat Drink Podcast on the Radio Misfits Podcast Network.
I'm Brent Peterson. Welcome to Destination Eat Drink, the travel podcast for foodies. This is where we explore the world's great food and great drinks at destinationeatdrink.com and here on the Destination Eat Drink podcast. Great to have you here. This week, we're talking about amazing Cambodian food, mac and yees, not mac and cheese, and hipster coffee with Rated V's Eunice Reyes. But first, if you've been enjoying Destination Eat Drink, be sure to stay up to date on everything we do by subscribing to our newsletter. If you just listen to the podcast, you might not know that I post tons of stories and foodie travel guides at destinationeatdrink.com. I also make videos on YouTube, so subscribe to the newsletter at destinationeatdrink.com and stay on top of all of it. And thank you. Eunice Reyes is an author and the founder and host of Rated V, a very popular YouTube channel about incredible vegan food all over the world. Eunice was on the podcast a few months ago. She told me about Spain and her book, Ultimate Spain, Vegan Food Guide. This time, Eunice and I talk about her former hometown of Seattle, Washington. We talk about chili relanos and the best coffee spots that aren't Starbucks, as well as a chocolate cake that's sure to make your mouth water. Okay, I'm starving. How about you? Let's eat.
Destination Eat Drink.
Eunice Reyes, welcome back to Destination Eat Drink. It's great to have you back on the podcast. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me again.
You know, since the last time we talked, you put out a video. You've put out a lot of videos, but you put out a video that I thought was just great about the your top 10 favorite foods from 2022. Now, I know we're into 2023 now, but I haven't talked to you since then. So I wanted to start the conversation before we get into Seattle, just talking about a couple of those things that you thought were the tops for 2022.
Yes. And actually, it was a top 15 because I initially wanted to do 10. And then I was like, wait, I have way too many tops. It's so hard, like recapping over the year, like some of the best things that you eat and like what made an impression. And just like a couple things. So like number one, I've never had Cambodian food, period. And then in LA, when I went to this vegan night market called the Vegan Playground, which I encourage everyone to go to, it's one of the best night markets in LA, and there's always food trucks and a good vibe. Multiple locations throughout the week. But there is a stand. Her name is Srey, the owner, and the place is called Srey Vegan. And when I went there the first time, she gave me this plate, which is called the hookup, which she hooks you up with 2 dishes. So one of them was fried vegan shrimp, and she had put this coconut condensed cream on top. Oh my goodness. It was a game changer. I was like, and the rice is like this garlic coconut sticky rice. So it's like sweet and sticky and savory at the same time. It's delicious. And then like,
oh, wow.
This last time we went, like, so the first time I went, she gave me what was called luklak. It was like, which is traditionally a beef dish in Cambodian cuisine, but she had made it vegan, obviously. And it was just so juicy and savory and delicious. And then the second, I just recently came back from LA and I had it again because like, I need to have this dish again. And she made me the pork version. And that was also equally amazing. I think I might actually like that one better than the beef one. They're both delicious, don't get me wrong. But it's just amazing. It's such a great dish. But if you get the fried shrimp, make sure to ask for the coconut condensed milk on top, because that really does take it to the next level. It kind of needs it. And then another thing that made an impression from that video was it was called the heartwarming soup. And I had that in Brussels, out of all places. And it was a Taiwanese restaurant, because Brussels is it's such a metropolitan city. So there's people from everywhere, right? And I think it might have left an impression because it's literally called the heartwarming soup. And it was literally heartwarming. It was delicious and warm. And it was amazing because that day it was pouring rain and it was cold. So when you have a soup that tastes amazing, in the cold, you're just like, my life is made right now.
Perfect environment for soup, right? A cold or any day,
Exactly.
that's when you want to have soup.
Exactly. But I definitely encourage people to see the video just to kind of see little like, you know, little snippets of different cities and what the food they have to offer. It was part of ranking them. I really was like, I don't know, I wish I could give them all number ones. But all the food is delicious, and it's just amazing how much you can find it throughout the world now.
And we'll have a link to the video in the show notes. And yeah, definitely want to watch that because it's highly entertaining, and you got food from all over the world. So it's great. But we've got you here today to talk about Seattle, because you lived in Seattle for quite a while. And so I thought, man, we should have Eunice on to talk about Seattle. And as I was putting together the topics to talk to you about Seattle, of course, the thing that comes at the very top of the list, first thing, is coffee, because everyone knows you've got Starbucks from Seattle. I think Pete's Coffee is from Seattle too, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
That's not where it all starts and ends. I'm sure Seattleites, they're not going to Starbucks every day for their local for their daily cup of Joe, right? So tell me about the coffee scene in Seattle. It must be amazing.
Yes. So first I want to start by saying I lived in Seattle for 5 years, and that's where I started my plant-based journey, was in Seattle. I became vegetarian when I was living there, and I was basically mostly vegan. I had already started my transition phase there. And so just exploring a lot of the plant-based food that is offered in Seattle was so much fun. And they have a lot to offer. The Pacific Northwest in general, like between Seattle, Portland, Vancouver, Canada, you can find a plethora of options. And so starting with coffee, 1000%, nobody really goes to Starbucks for their date. Like if they're going to go out to a coffee shop, they do not go to Starbucks. Starbucks is kind of like the fast food, I just need something now coffee. Like if you're at work and you just wanted to go out for coffee, you'll just go downstairs, go to Starbucks, right? Like it fits its purpose. It's not bad. And it is, it did start in Seattle, and, people take tons of photos, or there's always thousands of people waiting in line at Pike Place Market for the quote unquote original Starbucks, which actually I heard it wasn't actually the original. It's just like one of the second ones, but it was the first one. They made it in Pike Place, so it's a touristy location, right? So people love going there and taking photos. I mean, and there's nothing wrong with Starbucks. Let's just put it that way. Like Seattle has just so many coffee shops and so many people that take coffee so seriously. They find local roasters. They're all about, being eco-friendly. They try to be fair sourcing, in different countries. So like they take coffee so seriously. You'll find different ways to drink your coffee. You know what I mean? I think I learned different types of coffee just from going to coffee shops, because, they have the filters, they have the presses, they have the espresso machines, they have everything, right? They take it so seriously. So I definitely encourage someone to like look up different coffee shops. Some of my favorite have been, the coffee in general that I really like is called Fulcrum Coffee. The taste is just amazing, and they are based out of Seattle and South Seattle, but they sell their coffee throughout different coffee shops. And I really love Preserve and Gather in the Greenwood area because it's just so brightly lit. It's very colorful, it's welcoming, and they occasionally have a vegan pastry there too. But the Fulcrum Coffee Shop is up. There's one downtown now, and then there's one in South Seattle. Another cool vibe is in UW, in U District area, which is called Santos Coffee. I remember I really liked that coffee shop a lot. Victrola is also a really popular coffee shop amongst Seattle locals, and that one's in the Capitol Hill neighborhood. They have 2 locations there, so it's just fun checking out different coffee shops in Seattle, right? Like you could definitely check one out each time. Going back to Starbucks, though, I will say a place worth visiting is the Reserve. The Seattle Reserve is definitely worth checking out and looking at because it's just beautiful. They've made that building just amazing, and you can get like bread there now and other savory treats since they've partnered up with a bakery there. And so it's an experience. There's always a line. It's always busy, but I think it's definitely fun and worth checking out.
Eunice, I know you're a big mac and cheese fan because I've seen you in your videos talking about different mac and cheeses, vegan mac and cheeses that you have. Tell me about vegan mac and cheese in Seattle. Where's your go-to place?
Okay. Yes. So if you ever go to Seattle, 9 times out of 10, and you say you're vegan, people are gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, you have to go to Plum Bistro." So Plum Bistro is ran by McKinney Howell, and she has like elevated plant-based cuisine, but it's also comfort food at the same time. And they also, I think, do all-day happy hour on Mondays still. But
bonus.
One of the go-to dishes that I recommend everybody try, and what everybody always says you have to try, is the mac and cheese. It is on the appetizer menu, and it is smaller, and it's $12, just so you guys have a reference of like the kind of restaurant this is, but is amazing. Like, it's just yummy and oily, but the perfect amount of oily, and it's cheesy. It's almost like a smaller baked mac and cheese kind of thing. And it's just so good. It's literally love it first bite every time you have it. It's definitely worth getting, even if it's like, sure, you might think this is like a smaller size for $12, but who cares? It's worth it.
I think sometimes it's hard to find good just mac and cheese in general because it can be kind of gummy sometimes, and maybe it's been sitting around a little bit. So when you find a good one like at Plum Bistro, man, you got to latch on to that, because I think finding mac and cheese, really good mac and cheese when you're out, can be kind of difficult sometimes. So I'm glad there's a good place in Seattle.
Oh no, I was just gonna say there's definitely other places that sell mac and cheese that are pretty good. It's just like that one's definitely a must try.
Good deal. Let's move on to tacos, because I watched a video you did and I just thought it was the most genius thing that I've ever heard in my life, because you came up and it seemed like it happened on the spot. Like, as you were thinking of this, you were saying it. You were trying vegan chili rellenos, and I can't remember the name of the place where you did it, but you said they need to come up with a vegan chili relleno taco. And it's like, I've been eating chili rellenos for decades. I've loved them. And it never occurred to me to put it inside a tortilla, but it's the perfect combination, because you've got the pepper and the cheese and all the good stuff, and then you have it wrapped in a tortija. I mean, this is
I know.
This is
More
like
people need to
Pulitzer Prize worthy geniusness, Eunice.
Thank you. We need to propose this to people, put my name on it. The rated V taco.
Just call it the Eunice.
Exactly. So
tell me about this.
Yeah. So that restaurant is called Luna Azul, and they specialize in Mexican cuisine, and obviously a staple to Mexican cuisine is chile rellenos, and they're usually poblano chilies that are stuffed with cheese. I don't know now if they were if they make a vegan version, but I'm sure they did. No, they did. I can't remember. Sorry. It's because that video, just disclaimer, I was vegetarian still at the time. Those were the early days of Rated V, when it was like a vegetarian vegan channel, and then I became vegan, so it became a vegan channel. but what's it called? Yes. So they had a bunch of different dishes. They offer vegan tacos, but they did have a lot of vegan options, like tons. And the reason I came up with the whole idea is because, so typically in a lot of Mexican restaurants, you can find tacos de rajas. So rajas are essentially roasted poblano peppers that are sliced. So those are like in strips. So that's why they call it rajas. And so it's essentially the same pepper. It's just one of them is stuffed with, with whatever ingredient you have. And then typically it's cheese. And then, and it's so a chile relleno, for those that don't know, traditionally, it's stuff is roasted poblano pepper stuffed with cheese or whatever, like vegan cheese in this case, or whatever ingredient you want. And then it's dipped in some kind of like egg batter, but the vegan version will be like chickpea batter. That's how I found is the best one to replace that. And then you fry it, and then it's drenched in a red salsa, and it's delicious. It's one of the best dishes ever. So imagine that cut up and then put it in a taco, because all these plates are always served with tortillas, right? Tortillas, rice, and beans. That's your typical Mexican plate, which is the best way to eat anything. So of course, obviously, like, you kind of make your own tacos when you are served with tortillas, and you can add like some rice, and then just like a good chunk of the chile relleno, and it's delicious. They really should just sell chile relleno tacos, like you said. Like, I don't know why nobody does this. I mean, they do take a while to make. I guess that's probably why people are like, this is way too much effort, but I think it'd be worth it for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, I'd line up for that, days in
Right?
advance.
Now I'm craving. Now I'm like, oh, I haven't had chile rellenos in a while. I should make them. I should make a video, a recipe, write a video for that. Actually,
Absolutely. Put it on the list. I'm sure you're busy,
yeah.
Eunice. Let's you're like me. You like dessert. So let's talk dessert because I love all the dessert places that you went to in Seattle. I
Oh
don't know,
yeah.
where do you want to start talking about dessert because there's so much to talk about. Should we talk
Oh my gosh, yeah.
let's talk about cupcakes first because I only recently came into understanding this method of eating cupcakes that you demonstrated, and I'd only heard about it a
Yes.
few weeks prior to that. So maybe there's other people who are listening now who aren't aware of this genius method of eating cupcakes. So before we talk about the cupcakes themselves, talk about how you eat a cupcake, Eunice.
Okay. For those that don't know, the perfect way to eat a cupcake is to cut the cupcake stump, if you will, in half.
Yes.
And then you take the bottom half and you sandwich it on top of the frosting. And then you press it all together. So you essentially eat the cupcake like a sandwich. But now you get frosting in every bite. And it's the perfect bite all the way around. And you don't have to get frosting on your nose or any of that. It's literally the best way ever.
I love this method, and I'm so happy that you demonstrated it because like I said, I just stumbled upon this a few weeks ago, and then I saw you do it, and I'm like, oh, this is a thing. This isn't just a couple of people. I mean,
Yes.
this needs to take over the world, I think, this method of eating
Definitely.
cupcakes. What's your favorite cupcake place in Seattle?
Cupcake Royale. For sure, because they have the best vegan chocolate cupcake. I think that's the only vegan option they have. They are very popular in Seattle amongst locals who are non-vegan, but they do have that vegan cupcake all the time, and it's just it's like just a delightful chocolate cake, but mini size. Everything about it is just delicious. I think like I remember a long time ago, but because I remember I told you I was still like vegetarian. I remember I compared the vegan one to the non-vegan one, and I was like, the vegan one just tastes so much better. Like it honestly does.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's delicious. But something I want to say is like Seattle is, I think, one of the best places for vegan dessert, in my opinion, compared to Portland and uh Vancouver, Canada, like if it's in the Northwest. Only because like you can find so much even in just one neighborhood. So the Capitol Hill neighborhood of Seattle is where you want to do your vegan dessert crawl because you have vegan ice cream, you have vegan cinnamon rolls, vegan cupcakes. What else do you have? You have vegan donuts. Two types of places. There's just so much there. You can do vegan cookies, you can do vegan churros, you can do everything. Actually, no. Yeah, you can do vegan churros, I think. Correct. No, don't quote me on that. I've checked again. But yeah, there's just so much you can do within that like within walking distance. You can walk to all these places. And oh, that's what it was. Hot cakes. Oh my gosh. Let me just tell you the one dessert that everybody mandatory has to try when they go to Seattle. So there's a cafe called Hot Cakes in Seattle. They have two locations. One is in the Ballard neighborhood, which is the original one. And then the newer one is in Capitol Hill. And that one's bigger and even has like a little fire pit for people to hang out. Something to know about this place is that it tends to get really, really busy at night. So I think people like to go there after dinner or just hang out. It's like a late night spot. It's kind of always busy, but that's like when it's the most busy. So just FYI, parking might be a struggle. But essentially what it is like a molten chocolate lava cake. And again, they only have one vegan option, but it's already 1,000% worth it. And they serve it to you with vegan ice cream and everything. So when they serve it to you, you break the chocolate cake because it comes in a little cup, right? You kind of tap the top with your spoon. And then once you start tapping it, you'll start seeing all this chocolate ooze out from the top.
Oh
And
my
it's like
God.
hot and warm and delicious. And then you get a little scoop of ice cream and then you dip it in the melty, ooey gooey chocolate cake. And it's just divine. If I'm not making your mouth water right now, I don't know what's wrong with you.
That is just decadent, man. Sounds
Yeah.
so good. So you said it gets busy at night. Does that mean that they have cocktails and stuff there?
They do. So you can even get you can get drinks. They even have a vegan grilled cheese, so you can get savory option too. They make boozy milkshakes, so you can get a boozy vegan milkshake. So yeah, it's a pretty cool spot.
See, I would want a glass of red wine with my vegan molten chocolate cake, I think. That would really put it over the top, I think.
Right?
But you also mentioned donuts. So let's talk about a couple of the donut places in Seattle. What places do you like to go to?
Yes. So the one place I would say is my favorite is Doughjoy. Doughjoy is pretty new. They opened, I believe, in 2021. Or 2020, I think, actually, when they started their truck, and now they've expanded. Now they have two locations. One is in West Seattle, which is a really cute neighborhood, more suburban, by the beach, by Alki Beach. And then there's one in Capitol Hill again, because again, Capitol Hill has everything. And they are the first yeast-raised vegan donuts. So they're, if you're all about that fluffy, yummy, sweet donut, they got you covered. They have some of the best fritters ever, like literally some of the best. And then, but if you like cake style donuts, you can go to Mighty O's, because Mighty O's has got you covered for the cake style donuts. They actually don't advertise that they're vegan at all. Like, you won't see it anywhere on their any of their marketing materials or anything, but none of their donuts have dairy or egg. So they're all naturally vegan. I think they do that because they want to market to like the general public, obviously. And so, but they also have a lot of creative flavors, and they are delicious as well.
So someday I'll tell you the story about my first job when I was 15 years old. I worked at a Dunkin' Donuts, and one day I set the kitchen on fire by accident. So
oh no,
nobody was hurt.
Yeah, that's all important.
The building remained standing and no one was hurt, but
yes.
Yeah, the cleanup took a while.
Oh no, I can imagine.
Yeah, that's what you get for putting a 15-year-old in charge of the fryer. You know,
right?
Not a good idea. So you also mentioned vegan cinnamon rolls. So we got donuts. There was the donut craze, and then there was the cupcake craze. And I'm wondering if the cinnamon roll craze is going to be the next thing. It would only make sense, I think. What's vegan cinnamon rolls like?
Oh yeah, I definitely think the cinnamon roll craze is already here. I'll see like different places popping up all over the place.
Okay.
But the place to go to is called Cinnaholic. Fun fact, they were a Shark Tank participant, and that's how they kind of blew up and became big, I guess. They're a national chain, so you can find them in different cities. So there's multiple locations in California. They have them here somewhere in Portland. I have to double check on Portland, but for sure they have them in Seattle. Basically, it's custom cinnamon rolls. Everything in there is vegan. It's everything vegan. And so you can just get crazy, delicious cinnamon rolls. Like my favorite, for example, is the hot, fresh, ooey gooey cinnamon roll, which is all of them, obviously. If you used to have Cinnabon back in the day, if you know what Cinnabon is, it's essentially a vegan Cinnabon. That's how it tastes like. And it's just delicious. So the one I usually like to get is the one with peanut butter frosting. And then I get crushed like Oreo cookies, but it's not Oreos. They actually make their own cookies in house. I think, they make their own peanut butter cups, but then like they have Oreos. So they crushed Oreos, and then I asked for more peanut butter cups and then some like chocolate syrup on top is super extra, but that is, if you love chocolate peanut butter, I recommend the combo for sure. But they have everything. Like they have cheesecake flavors. They have, original, or they just have a bunch of frostings, like tons of frostings and toppings, and they also have cookies, I think. And so, yeah, it's definitely a Disneyland for a sweet tooth person.
That is just over the top, Eunice.
Yeah.
we're gonna have to see if they can franchise out here in Portugal, because I think I'd enjoy that, or maybe I'll just have to do it next time I'm back in the States.
Yeah.
Let's finish up our dessert with ice cream. You did mention a little bit of ice cream before at hotcakes, but let's mention some other vegan ice cream, because I've said this before on the podcast. I think vegan ice cream is really, really getting good now. For a while there, it was really hard to find good vegan ice cream other than just fruit sorbets. But vegan ice cream's getting really good, and I love having it. So what do we find in Seattle?
Yes, hands down, Frankie and Joe's. You have to go to Frankie and Joe's for vegan ice cream. They have 3 locations. One's in U District, the other one's in Ballard, and then in Capitol Hill as well. Essentially, they make their ice cream base from cashews and coconut milk, and so it tastes so good. And what I like about them is that it's also everything's gluten free, and they make their own waffle cones in house that taste like cookies. It's so good. And then they even offer a sugar-free versions every once in a while. So there's one that they always have sugar-free, and that's one that's sweetened with dates, which is really nice. So if you're trying to avoid like cane sugar, they have an ice cream that's sweetened with dates. It's their chocolate one, and it's really good. But I just love that they have very unique flavors. Like they have one that has activated charcoal in it. They have, my favorite one is tahini chocolate super cookie. Is so good. So it's like a chocolate ice cream with like tahini cookies in there. It's so good. But they always have 3 feature flavors of the month. So they're always changing their flavors each month. You know, it keeps you coming back, obviously, right? Because you always want to try the new flavors, but they always have the staple flavors there too. And it's really good.
Sounds awesome. Frankie and Joe's in Seattle. There you go. Always looking for a good vegan ice cream. That sounds awesome.
Yes.
Well, Eunice, thank you for indulging me in Seattle, because mac and cheese and chocolate cake and ice cream and cinnamon rolls and chili Rolanos. This has just been absolutely over the top. It's just great. Thanks for all your recommendations on Seattle. I appreciate all your knowledge about this place that you lived at and where you lived. And we're definitely going to be keeping up with you this year and in forthcoming years on Rated V, because your channel is just so, not only is it informative, but it's also super entertaining, which is why I love watching whenever you have a new video coming out. So thanks for being on Destination Eat Drink. It's just been great catching up with you again.
Thank you so much. And if like anyone wants to see the video, there's definitely way more food that Seattle has to offer in terms of vegan food, but there is a recent Seattle video that I made that I'm sure you can link in the show notes as well so people can view it.
Okay, there you go. And just like Eunice said, I've got links to her channel and videos in the show notes. Get that at radiomisfits.com/DED221. And be sure to subscribe to Eunice's channel, Rated V, on YouTube. I'm a subscriber. I love watching her videos. It's so much fun. Well, that's it for this week. Next week, we're talking transplanted cuisine. So you're not going to want to miss that. Until then, get over to destinationeatdrink.com. I just posted a story about a delicious pastry from Coimbra, Portugal. Get that at destinationeatdrink.com/Santa Clara. That's SANTACLARA. Or just go to destinationeatdrink.com and click on the blog tab. And if you like Destination Eat Drink, be sure to rate and review us on your podcast app or on Facebook at Destination Eat Drink. And thanks to the folks at Best Podcasts UK for naming Destination Eat Drink one of the best travel podcasts. I'm so happy to be included with the other excellent programs that they named. Destination Eat Drink is distributed by the Radio Misfits Podcast Network and a guy who wouldn't call 911 because his donut was burned, Ed Silla. Thanks, Ed. I'm Brent Peterson. I'll see you down the road.
Join us next week for another culinary adventure on Destination Eat Drink, a presentation of the Radio Misfits Podcast Network.